The Heart Taker by A.M. Wiley. Narrated by the author. Copyright 2024. For Anne. I think you would have liked this one. Author's disclaimer. I discovered this story strung together and tacked on corkboard in the gloomy basement of a foreclosure. It was the obsessive work of a lone, divorced internet sleuth on the brink of bankruptcy and behind on his alimony. As I followed his crazed steps, I discovered the story was from 2010, the time of Adele and Twilight. Smartphones were young, influencers were few, and Instagram was yet to be born. A simpler time, a deadlier time. Prologue. The Laurel High Massacre. My mommy always said there were no monsters, no real ones, but there are. Newt. Aliens. To the school! Jim screamed. The three boys behind him ran wildly, gasping for air. They burst from the woods into the open field. Their high school, Laurel, loomed ahead of them in the pale moonlight. The boys leapt the chain-link fence surrounding the football field. Sweat poured down their faces, stinging their eyes. Ben misjudged the height of the fence in the shadows. He shrieked in desperation, collapsing over the barrier. Jim slid to a halt and turned. Ben hung over a post, caught by a deep pocket of his cargo shorts. The other boys had already made the 20-yard line and showed no signs of slowing. "Jimmy, don't leave me!" Ben sobbed as he fought to untangle himself. Jim sprinted back for him. He made it to Ben's leg and yanked upwards, but he was too heavy. Jim knew he didn't have time to pull him free. In that moment, the fear overpowered him. Jim did something he thought he would never do. "I'm sorry, Ben." He let his friend go and tore across the field toward the school. The wind kicked up his hair and dried the sweat on his face. As he neared the sidelines, Jim thought about all the places he could hide once inside Laurel High. With the town still a half-mile away, he knew the school was their only hope. Suddenly he hit a rut. His ankle popped and gave beneath him. He slammed into the ground, knocking the air from his lungs. Breathless, Jim crawled beneath the nearby bleachers and peered back between the slats of the grandstand into the darkness. Nothing. Jim prayed with his face in the dust. He begged to live. The moment so surreal he clutched his face in hopes he would wake from this nightmare. Jim looked up to where Ben hung on the fence. His heart stopped. He was gone. Where was he? Where are the others? Jim was now alone in the field. He waited for a sign that his other friends might still be alive. The night only answered back with crickets and the distant rush of the highway. Several more minutes passed before Jim thought to take a breath. He pulled himself up on one elbow, wiping dirt and snot from his face. He surveyed his surroundings and refocused on survival. The school building was too far away, and his ankle was busted. He would never make it. "I'll stay until daytime," he thought. "I'll stay until cars start pulling into the parking lot." His phone vibrated from his shorts. He jammed his hand instinctively into his pocket to silence it. He realized then what the panic had made him forget. "I have a phone!" Jim removed the phone and clutched it to his chest to hide the light. It continued buzzing against his pounding heart, and he pulled it away to look at the number. He didn't recognize it, but that didn't matter now. He immediately answered and didn't give the caller a chance to speak. "This is Jim White," he whispered. I'm in trouble. I'm at Laurel High School, hiding under the bleachers, and I need help. Please call the police. My dad's a cop." "Jimmy," a voice whispered on the line. "Who is this? Please help me." "Jimmy," the voice said again. "I was just calling to let you know not to worry. You haven't been forgotten." "Who is this?" Jim realized something had crawled beside him under the bleachers. He didn't even have a chance to scream.